What's happening, guys? Today we are back out at the junkyard looking for something. We're looking at anything we like to see, some old stuff, some interesting stuff, some weird stuff. Stick around, we're gonna go find some cool cars. First up, we're looking at what appears to be an AMC Eagle. I'm gonna climb over a few cars and get a better look at this one. So this one appears to be, you know, an 80s model. I can't get that driver door open to tell what year it is, but it's got something pretty neat. You don't see in a lot of, well, maybe you do see in a lot more of these today. It's four-wheel drive. Now that was not common at this era, and it probably wouldn't be again until really recently, where everything's all-wheel drive now. But AMC would have made these things. It's a pretty neat car. I'd like to see what it's got for a power plant in it. Let's see. Look at that. That's the same engine you would have found in a Jeep in this era. So they use the same engine in a lot of different stuff. It's their inline six. And it's a bulletproof engine, really good one. And let's see if we can see the front axle at all, really. A little bit. You can just sort of barely see the flange down there as to where this thing would have been four-wheel drive to, but pretty cool. It's pretty far gone. I'd love to have one of these someday, though. I just think they're a neat old car. And up next, we're going to be checking out this Dodge Dakota. It's a first-gen Dodge Dakota. I just kind of want to look at it. It caught my eye because it was halfway solid and the interior looked kind of cool, so we're going to check it out. The first thing I noticed about this thing walking up was disc brakes. I guess that sort of surprises me in a compact truck of this era. I sort of expect everything to be drums for almost a little bit while longer, but this is not a bad little truck. Real honest interior, no frills, no fanciness, but everything you needed. Seems like this thing, no AC, automatic with your optional overdrive off button, so you could turn this thing off while you were going down the road and get a little more power potentially. Let's see. Maybe we'll open both doors so I can really check out and see what year this thing is from. So, manufacture date of 4 of 88. So it's either an 88 or an 89, but this is when Chrysler went away from the Mitsubishis, all those trucks, and went in-house with their compacts. They were competing with the likes of Toyota, the Ranger. The Chevy would have had their S10 by now. And this has a nice usable bed on it. I mean, it's got more bed space on it than pretty much most modern trucks, and it's a compact. I think that's hilarious, but yeah, little baby Ram with the 3.9 liter V6. Not a bad motor. Here's that 3.9 in action. I'm sort of curious. Okay, so by this time, fuel injection was pretty well mandatory. This is the most rudimentary of the sort. This is throttle body fuel injection. It's just a fancy carburetor, really. But they were able to say they had fuel injection, even though it really wasn't that much. But it was a computerized form of fuel delivery. So, not a bad motor. So what do you think, guys? This one's savable or not? Not half bad for the Great White North. I do love the front ends on them. They look nice. I can't stop and not check out a nice old Suburban. Beautiful trucks. Now, these are not quite the Suburban that we've become completely accustomed to. You see your standard one door here. Oh, goodbye, floor. Two door here. Man, that's hanging on by literally a thread. Holy cow. But on the other side, we only find the driver's door. There's no rear driver door, which I find kind of odd. I wonder what they were thinking, like, oh, people don't need that fourth door, or, you know, it's common in cars and everything else at this point. I'm just curious as to why they didn't think that it could use a door as well. At the end of the day, it probably just comes down to the almighty dollar and not actually needing it to sell these things. In the back, we're also missing that sort of iconic barn door opening. That's just a basic latch and fold down back rear end. I'm curious as to if this one opens. I know it goes down flat. I'm wondering if it goes out side to side too. It looks like probably not, but like a station wagon might have or something, but just an old work truck. As with most Chevys of this era, pretty darn bare bones in the interior. No extra anything, looks like. You do have a little the AAA fasten seatbelt sign. That's kind of funny. This was probably somebody's work truck or company truck. I wonder if it's still got a motor in it. Lo and behold, there's still a motor in it. Huh. I would not have expected that. Now this, yeah, V8 of some kind. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not incredibly up on my Chevys, but it's at least a 327 by this era, maybe bigger. I don't think that it's a big block. I think it's a small block. So, but neat old thing. Power disc brakes up front. I wonder if that's factory or not at this point. I don't think so. Huh. But that does look to be slightly aftermarket-y. Maybe somebody put that in the 80s or something, but still, neat old Suburban. Another super iconic car back here. It is the International Scout. What a handsome little ride it is. Removable top, tub body, as bare bones as they could be. These would have competed directly with the Jeeps and the Broncos of their era. You can see that this one's got, let's see. I don't know if this is a 4 or 5 speed at this point. Probably 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Seems like a 4 speed in reverse. But twin stick transfer case from the factory. Pretty cool. I don't know how often you see that anymore, if ever. And these things are just nothing but right angles on the inside and rust. They're rusty devils. That's where a lot of these ones went. Now this one is an International Scout 800. I don't know what that means exactly off the top of my head, if this one's got a little bit bigger motor in it or if that's the case, but as you can see, a lot of these, just like Jeeps and Broncos before everybody started loving them, were snowplow trucks because they were so small and tight and got in all the little nooks and crannies of driveways, and it was fundamentally easier to drive these things in your driveway in the winter and move snow around. It was just easy before they were a collector's item, and that's why a lot of them are rusted, rotted out stuff these days. Needed both hands to get this one open, but I got it, and it's got the little iconic straight 4 motor that they used in a lot of these things. Let's see. Anything particularly wild or interesting about this one? Not that I can see, but I see a lot of this is run. I think a lot of these were built for the purpose of moving snow, and that's why it's so easy to hook a snowplow up to these things too. But all in all, this one is not too bad. I mean, really, I would call this savable up here. People would be asking $2 or $3 grand for something like this if it was sitting in their yard today, because they're nuts. Not saying I'd pay it, but somebody would. Because once the rot starts on these things, it's nearly impossible to ever stop it. But they are an icon still to this day. It's a real shame that these all went away. If you want to read some interesting books on failing a company, look up International and how they just mismanaged it away. But pretty cool. Now here's something I would not have expected to find ever in this junkyard here. I don't know if you can tell by that front clip. This is a BMW 5 Series, an 80s model. Very pretty car. I'm surprised to see it here because nobody drives anything foreign up here hardly. It's kind of a shame too because it's all here. It's not rotted out. It had that trash can lid on top of it though when I found it. Let me see if I can. It isn't automatic. But look at all those fancy dance electronics in there. You got seats forward, back, up, down, side to side. I am inside the Beamer, and what I can tell you is it smells exactly like my 1980 Mercedes. And unfortunately, as I was stepping in here, the floor went crunch under my feet. So I think this one's giving all she can give. It's sitting here for who knows how long though, and just rotting away. While we're in here, let's look at a few things. Notice right away that speedometer goes up to 140. That is not something an American car would have had in the 80s with that 85-mile-an-hour top speed. Federally mandated nonsense on there. Cassette player, very nice. We've got AC, just about everything you think of on one of these cars. They were not cheap. And it's pretty neat to be able to find one here. So unfortunately, I cannot get that hood open, but geez, what an oddball find back here. I think this is its final resting home too, judging by the state of that floor. So good luck to the Beamer. Up next, we'll be checking out a Falcon, but it's no ordinary Falcon. It's a station wagon Falcon. That's pretty nifty. Like all good junkyards, it's basically been turned into storage, but you can kind of see what it once was. It originally had a hand crank rear window. And this is basically an economy car before it really became the vogue to get one. This would have had, I think, a 240 straight six, even smaller potentially. This one is pretty darn rotten, as you can see. There's no floor left in the bottom of this thing, sadly. But if anybody knows Mustangs, they know that the Falcon is the base of what a Mustang is. Underneath all that cladding and whatnot is just a Falcon. Let's see if we can get this hood open. Oh yeah, there it still remains. Little four banger. Oh, wait, no, 6-cylinder. Yeah. And like I said, I don't know what displacement this has offhand, but it has the same basic motor that a Mustang would have come out with when it was new. You know, pony car. And these are cool old cars. I like Falcons. They don't get the love and respect they deserve because the Mustang's a prettier sister of them. But I mean, to find a station wagon like this is, I don't know, super rare, but I don't think I've ever seen one in person. I think they're neat. It's a shame it's so far gone because this would be one sweet beach cruiser. Put a little rack up there and a surfboard and head to California, brother. Not bad at all. It's always interesting to think of how these cars would have ended up here. You know, what was the fatal flaw that was enough to put these things away? Here you can see it was smushed pretty bad at one point, but has a sort of repair to it and looks like it served its purpose a lot longer than it was sitting out here. So I don't think it was that, but you know, who knows? Was it the transmission that went out? Was it the motor that gave up the ghost? Hard telling. It could have just been rust because there's literally no floor left in this poor old thing. Ooh. Want some new grape soda, kids? Lovely. I think I got time for one more yet today. I'm going to be checking out this old Blazer. Boy, these are such cool trucks. Back when the Blazer was a Blazer, not just a little crappy compact crossover thing. This is a truck. 4-wheel drive, high and low. This one looks like automatic. Really pretty basic. Silverado package. I think that means it comes with like power locks, power doors, that sort of thing. This would be a manufactured in early 85, so it's either an 85, probably an 85, not an 86. Here's where your spare would have gone. Just enough space for you, the kids, and a dog, maybe. But just a cool old truck. I mean, geez. Classic square body styling. It says the quad headlights. Looking beautiful, looking good. I can dig it. Inside we got a 4-barrel 350, either a 350 or a 305. Nope, this one has a 5-liter in it. Yeah, 305. So someone did a little HEI upgrade at this at some point. I bet they ripped all the smog crap off this thing and had themselves a halfway decent cruiser. Those 305s are pretty gutless, but in this small of a truck, they're not too bad. You're not going to be hauling anything severe with with the Blazer anyways, but I just love the way that the paint is on these trucks, how it all looks. They're just a classic ride. This one is not that terrible. If someone put some wheels and tires on this thing and got it up off the dirt, you know, get yourself a door. The bottom of it's not all rusted out anyways. I think you'd have a hard time finding that rear hatch. Door would be an easy enough task to find, but just a basic cool cruiser. I mean, these are really coming around, and you can certainly see why. They have a real appeal to them that not a lot of trucks these days, I would say, have. And just as simple and easy to work on as anything you can find. So guys, I think that's going to do it for me to here today. I'm losing the light. It's daylight savings time, so we don't have a lot of light left these days. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to kind of chunk these up a little bit, I think. Maybe do some research at home and post a little bit more of that inside the video to make them bulk them out a little bit and give you guys a little more information. Because I'm not Steve Mignante and I don't know all the answers, so I got to do my homework when I get home and see everything I can about these cars. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.